That was Lockenville with Love Rush. Love supporting local. Lockenville just rocks the house. Another way of supporting local is by supporting new emerging businesses, which obviously I absolutely love. I can see you guys tuning in already. Hi! Hey, hey! Thank you for tuning in. In studio today, I have the wonderful, fantastic, and brilliant Fee, who has just started a company called People Have Influence, and I'm so excited to have her in studio because Colin and I are always discussing what is an influencer, is the age of influencers over, and what will make an influencer be able to sustain this period of a shift that is currently happening at the moment. So Fee, welcome to 2Oceans Vibe. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm really excited to be here, and I think it'll be a really lovely topic to speak about because it is currently a debate whether influencer marketing is successful, whether these are real people or not, and whether it is effective in terms of a way of getting a brand's message across to an audience of people.
I think that is the kind of, I think that the biggest sort of challenge has that there's been so many different accounts that have like loads of followers, but nobody knows where the followers have come from, first of all. So I know that Instagram recently did a clean out, and you saw that a lot of followers just got dropped on accounts. I mean, some people, it was crazy, you know, and so it's about having real, authentic people, right? Well, let's start there, actually. What you are now representing different influencers to work with brands. What do you look for when you look at an influencer?
Perfect, great question. So, as I say, the name of the company is called People Have Influence because we do believe that real people do have an influence. So, how we choose people is that A, we would hand pick them, and based on whether they have a following between 10 and 50,000 and no fake followers. So we will check your account in the backside and whether it's suspicious followers, and I can explain a little bit more later as to how we can pick that up. So you've got to have between 10 and 50,000. You cannot have any fake followers, and then you've also got to have a talent, whether it's a passion. You've got to have a reason to have this following and able to spread your word of mouth through your platform to an audience that trusts you and has built this trust with you over a period of time. So, yeah.
Those are the things.
Little golden nuggets, I call them, as per se. Yeah.
We were chatting just now, and one of the things that came up is authenticity. You know, I remember actually years ago doing a show on the fact that authenticity is going to become your most valuable asset, because in the past, before the digital age, you could hide so much, you know, but now who you are is who you are. And I think that that's coming even more into being now, because so many people before would have the look at these Instagram lives and go, oh, this person is so perfect, and it actually makes you feel crap about yourself because you go, oh, my life cannot live up to that. And I think more and more what is happening, yeah, I can hear some interference going on from that side. I don't know what it is, but more and more people are looking for individuals that are just real about it. Like they're not putting on this perfect life. They've got great lives, they've got fantastic lives, but they're real people. How important is that, and why do you think it's so important?
So it is extremely important, and I'm going to use a way of describing the two different types of influencers. I must say that even the word influencer, I think, has such a negative stigma attached to it. I think that when someone thinks of influencer, they must be this person of high regard, with a bunch of followers, and that they are just perfect. So this is the form of influencer that I am not necessarily looking to work with at all, is a person who's posting photos where they're saying, I am perfect, follow me. I am rich, follow me. I am glamorous, and I'm so successful, you should follow me because of this. So if that is kind of your way of using your audience and your following to have an influence, then that's amazing. However, that's not the person I'm looking for. I'm looking for the person that is got this following and gained a following organically because they have stuck to exactly what they are passionate about, and decided that that is what they're going to do, and they are going to use that whether it is breakdancing or being a radio presenter or a actress. They're going to use their talent and their passion and pursue it, and teach people along the way. So teach people like little tips of acting, or ways to make it through your day when you're not actually, feeling that motivated. Real stories that people can, relate to. When you're telling someone, I've got having a really bad day, this is what I did to kind of get through it. Someone on the other end is like, you know what, this perfect person actually also suffers from daily activities that we do. They're real, they're normal, but I can relate to them. And
Yes.
so that's, I think, what brands are looking for in terms of an influencer, someone that is not saturated with brands, someone that is speaking with a true voice. I don't believe a brand should ever tell someone, you must say these words and these are the exact quotes and lines that you must use to. No, you must send them the product, let them speak for themselves. Like, how did they enjoy it? Did they like this, not like this, and why? And let them speak truthfully and authentically, and that's exactly why they got their followers in the first place. So sticking to what they believe in.
Sticking to what they believe in. I agree, that's so important. It's something that I really try to do, is be honest with my audience, and sometimes people go, why did you say you're having a bad day? And I say, because it's not so that people feel sorry for me, it's so that people understand I'm human.
Yeah.
And that, like, I've also got days that are shit days, and then I've got to, let myself have a little cry, look after myself a little bit better, and do what I need to do to kind of get back on my feet and keep going. I actually released a video this morning called The 1%. I don't know if you saw it, Fee, but for all of you that feel overwhelmed in life, this concept, I've seen it in books, I've seen it in different studies, and it's really so brilliant. When you're feeling overwhelmed, a lot of us just shut down and just stop functioning, because it's like it's just too much. But when you do that, you can stop and breathe and just go, okay, I'm going to make one better decision right now. Just one. That one little better decision. And if you can do that every time you become overwhelmed, it takes that massive pressure off you. And I think that that's part of what society is going through at the moment. They feel this massive pressure to be these Insta models and these Insta famous people, and that their lives should represent this insane, unreachable, guys, really unreachable reality, when we all are just human, and we should all just be supporting each other and kind of getting through the day and making the most out of life and enjoying the beauty that is our life. But we're real,
Absolutely. Yeah, and I definitely will have a listen to it. I saw a post the other day where it was just saying, either if you're wanting to start just read one page.
Yes.
Read one page. If you're wanting to go for a run,
That's it.
walk for 1 minute. 1 minute, and then you'll see how you feel after that 1 minute or one page, in order to make it not seem so overwhelming.
No, yeah, exactly. I was actually speaking to her, I had a baby, and she was like, my body's changed so much, and I just don't have time to exercise, and blah. And I was like, dude, just start with planking for 1 minute every morning. Like, just plank for 1 minute every morning. And then the next week you can plank for 2 minutes, every morning.
Baby steps.
But those little baby steps make such a difference. Okay, so in the influencer market, what do you think people who want to become influencers, do you have some tips for them on like steps that they should take? Because there are new up and coming people that are very interesting and very cool, but they're not quite sure how to tackle this kind of market.
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, we get approached quite often by people that have less than 10,000 followers, asking, how can I make it there? What are the steps? And there is no magic cure. And just like we were saying with the one step or one plank, it's consistency. That is what we truly believe. If you are now going to speak about whether it's recipes or whether it's tips on becoming more active, and every morning you give a tip, then every single day you need to consistently give that same tip, or whether you're doing it 3 times a week. Work out what your audience is enjoying. Are they enjoying it when you tell them stories of yourself? Are they enjoying it when you're posting pictures with facts and information? They love a storytelling element. Gone are the days of a picture with a 2-word snappy caption.
Yes.
They actually want to know, like, I ate this meal and it was really, really value for money. Was it or was it not? People actually really want to hear your opinion on something. So consistency, stick to what you believe in and what you enjoy, and don't ever do something comparing yourself to someone else. So don't look at an image of someone who's taken this gorgeous shot looking at this. If that's not you and it's unrealistic, then don't go and copy that mechanism. Be true to yourself. There's only one of you, so you may as well make the most of yourself. So yeah, be consistent, stick to kind of like a formula, and make that formula based on your lifestyle. So if you know in the mornings you're up early and you're finished by X amount, make sure that at that time you're speaking to your audience and you stick to that every single week. Range it up between whether it's a lifestyle post, range it up with a quote, range it up with a story, range it up with a fun fact, and then stick to that so that the audience is constantly getting this variety of information from you that's fresh, that's
not repeated.
Not repeated, please.
So important.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that I see a lot as well, is that people put the same posts, like the same information.
Or a different angle of the same post.
Yes, and it's like people want fresh content. They're looking for fresh, interesting content. And it's not to say that sometimes something that you wrote a year ago isn't relevant again today and there's a good reminder. But not a week later, guys. And not 2 weeks later.
It's
and not a month later.
They call it instant gratification. So we're so used to, I believe, we're in a world now where if we want something, we want to order something, boom, click, order, your food arrives. If we wanting to download something, our generation gets extremely frustrated with slow internet. Because we want things right now.
Instant.
So if you're telling me a story from last week, not that relevant. I mean, I'll like it, that's cool, but people are now focused more on stories because it's real time, live. It's as if someone wants to be sitting right next to that person and knowing exactly what they're doing at all times, which is so scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
As opposed to a post now, which is even seen in old school, and they're trying to change the format so that it kind of, the finger angle is going the same as a story now, which is also crazy.
What is the finger angle?
So when you're looking at a story and you're flipping to the next story, you're actually swiping to the side. Whereas Instagram on your page, you're swiping up. And they've realized that people are now preferring the side swiping.
It's like Tinder.
So yeah, so they'll be doing that with the posts as well. But it's scary to think how obsessive people are with truly understanding someone else's day-to-day life. It's scary. And even when Instagram crashed last week, if you come to think about it, all of these people that have made their businesses and their life is actually revolved around their reach and their impressions, which is to a huge audience. And now if that just shut down for life, then what? Then what actually happens? Do you go? Is there another platform?
Yeah.
It's just scary.
No, it's so scary, and the interesting thing is, like what you're talking about happened to me with Facebook. When Facebook was the platform, Instagram was still coming up, but Facebook was the platform. I got shut out of my account, and it was a good 4 months of me not having access to my follows, to my anything, and I was freaking out, and people were freaking out because people also know that I almost died, and so I was getting messages going, "Are you okay? Are you alive?" And I was writing to Facebook and saying, "Guys, you don't understand the havoc that you're causing by locking me out of my account." I had to get a court-ordered certificate saying that I was who I was because they thought that I was a follower trying to hijack my account.
Oh.
It was insane. It's crazy town, guys. Okay, well, Fee, before I let you go, I wanted to just find out, you've signed up a couple of fantastic influencers on your platform. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about a couple of them?
Yeah, I will. So, as you did mention, yes, our company is called People Have Influence, which actually stands for Fee. And we're officially going live at the end of this month, and we have been working though behind the scenes, and we've got a bunch of golden nuggets, what we call, on board. And as I say, they've got to have no fake followers, between 10 and 50,000, and they just got to be doing something that they're passionate about and that they're influencing a larger, wider audience and community. So whether that is, for the example, some of my nuggets is Courtney Paul. She's at Joburg, she's a B-girl, she's a choreographer, she's a producer. And as a female empowerment figure, she's unreal. Go give her a follow if you haven't already, Courtney Paul. We've got Candy Bart on board, which I'm sure everyone listening is well aware of. Alex McGregor, who's an actress, gorgeous inside and out. We've got the Peterson twins, also fantastic girls. really making a difference in their community and uplifting everyone around them. So yeah, and most importantly, my newest recruit is you, Susana. I'm so excited to have you part of the family.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I must tell you guys, you know, we get asked to do things for brands all the time. And me being the softie that I am, and that I'm always wanting to help everybody, I'm often overextending myself a hell of a lot where I shouldn't be. And so it helps so much for me to have you, Fee, on board with me to just look after my my well-being, my brand's well-being. So it's so great. Now when a brand approaches me, I can go, yes, I would love to work with you. Please speak to my agent. And it's so nice.
On that exact note, that's a great point to touch on, is actually what are brands looking for? Because me being in the middleman now, I've worked agency side for 6-7 years, and now I've decided to turn to the representation side. And I feel like as a middleman, at the same time, I'm also able to tell the influencer, you know, big corporations have processes, they have to get them signed off. You can't have a spontaneous idea and it just comes from nowhere. But you can't make money off product and free product all the time. If people pay for radio ads or TV slots, if they're going to use someone else's voice to speak on behalf of their brand, they should also understand that they need to be substantiating that person's worth, and it should be mutually beneficial. And product is one thing, but payment is another. It's a business.
Absolutely. That's a huge problem, more in the creative industry than most industries, but there's a lot of, I mean, I'm always for collaboration, so please don't get me wrong, guys. I'm always collaborating with people, and when you've got a director, a designer, a makeup artist, and a cinematographer that get together to create something together because it's mutually beneficial for everyone involved, that's very different from somebody who's constantly doing favors for somebody else, you know? And there's only a certain extent that you can do trade exchanges until, because at the end of the day, you have to actually pay your bills, and you have to put petrol in your car, and you have to buy food that actually goes into your mouth and sustains you. So you can't always be doing trade exchanges. And I love trade exchanges. 100%. I think when there is an actual trade exchange that is mutually beneficial, go for it, guys. It's really fantastic. But when it comes to working with brands, there is an advertising budget. They get an advertising budget, and I think that Instagram actually changed that on their where it says this is a paid for collaboration or paid for something like that, right?
Well, so that's another touch on, is that a lot of brands battle to find or see the value in influencer marketing because you can't track the return on investment. And that's the difference with what we are able to do, is that we actually force the brand to actually want to track the return on investment. I'm going to use an example of Alex McGregor we did with a skin brand, and basically she had one post and with a swab of the cream on her cheek, and gave a genuine review, being like, the reason I like it is because it's not tested on animals. This was about a year ago. Literally phoned the CEO of the company, explained to her, I've got a girl that's also actually vegan, it's a match made in heaven, I'd love her to speak on behalf of your brand. If, you know, we'll use a code so you can track the sales from her single post, and then if you like the mechanism, then we'll continue to do it. And she said, oh, where did you come from? I've always wanted to do influencer marketing, but I've never been able to track it, and I know it works, but I just don't quite understand it. So I said, well, hear me out. Let's do this. Let's do one paid for post. She'll do a swipe up link and a discount code, and then after 2 weeks, let's see what it did for us, and then we'll take it from there. And true as bond, 2 weeks later, she pulled the stats from the code online, and it resulted in 21,000 rand of sales from just that one post, because yes, she's got a lot of followers, but the brand matched her. So I'm like, I feel like I'm like a human version of Tinder. So I'm like matching brands.
I feel like you
are
that
actually relate to one another. If it's not a match made in heaven, then it's never going to work. So that's the starting point right there.
And it's so important to really understand the match as well, because I mean, you recently asked me to write down brands, and I'm like, oh, I like this one, I like this one, and Nando's came up. Okay, now I love Nando's as a brand. They're cool, they're funny, but I'm a vegetarian. Like, they're a cool brand, but I can't be associated with Nando's because it's like it goes against who I am, right?
Absolutely.
So it's you've really got to find that true match. And then I came up with other brands that were more like aligned with me and what I actually do. So Fee, I think that it's great. I think what you're doing is great. I think you are a pioneer in what is needed for the next evolution of what's happening in social media and social media marketing and influencers and brands, and how to work together so that it is fair and it is done right and people are creating a win-win. Because I think at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is everybody needs to feel like they're winning. Everybody needs to feel like they're gaining something, because when they can't gain anything, then that's when there's sourness, and that's where things like kind of collapse and fall apart. But any last words before we end this interview? I know you are coming on air next week on Wednesday with something very exciting. But for now, any last words for listeners out there?
So I'll say this. I do believe that everyone is influential. I believe we live in a world of recommendations. So at the end of every day, whether you get home or whether you're chatting throughout your day, all you're doing is giving recommendations, either the food that you ate, the place that you went to, the restaurant you recently visited. We live in a world where everything is influential from others, from people that we're following, from your family, from your friends, and it just depends on now, how are you going to use your voice as an influential person to speak positive to an audience that other people are unable to reach. And I hope that, if you are an influencer, I hope that you do use your voice to do some good in some way or another.
I absolutely agree. Thank you so much for coming into studio. It was so wonderful having you here. Everybody, I think we need to have a little music break. And of course, Beyonce, girls. Who runs the world? Girls. Enjoy, guys. I'll be back in just a minute. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram, guys. I will be back in 5 minutes. Okay, bye.